Hello, citizens of the internet and occupants of the World Wide Web. I'm Brian Crawford, and this is another episode of So You Wanna. So you just installed a brand new game on your PS4, and you realized your hard drive is full. So you can either delete a whole bunch of games and re-download them every single time you want to play, or we can put a new hard drive in there and future-proof your gaming library. So here's the stuff that you're going to need to get that hard drive in your PS4. First things first, obviously your PS4, you're going to need a controller, and you're going to need a USB cable to connect the two, as everything from your PS4 is going to be erased when we put the new hard drive in, so we're going to have to link the two back together again. Then you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a USB jump drive with at least 1 gigabyte of space for the new system hardware you're going to be installing on there, and then of course you're going to need your brand new hard drive. Now, I decided on the Samsung Seagate SpinPoint M9T, it's a long name, I know, 2 terabyte, it's a 2.5 inch SATA internal hard drive. It's about $95 on Amazon right now. And if you don't want to go with that one, there's a few different parameters that PlayStation has actually laid out so you can find one that you do like. Number one, it needs to be at least a 2.5 inch internal type, which is basically 9.5 millimeters or slimmer. That way it can fit inside of the tray of the PS4. Then it needs to be a serial ATA2 drive. Now, a parallel ATA is not going to be supported. It's not going to be one that you're going to find too much, but if you do come across it, know that it's not going to work. Then it needs to be at least 160 gigabytes. Now, I don't know why you would be downgrading any of your system hardware, but let's say your hard drive failed and you needed something in the interim to fill that space. If you're just going for something the cheapest option you can find, you need at least 160 gigabytes for it to work in your PS4 system. Now, last couple of things. While you technically are not going to need it for this, you do need at least a PC with internet connection so you can download the new network system software to install onto your PlayStation 4. You don't technically need it connected to the PlayStation, although it is going to help when you go to re-download everything, obviously. And then last but not least, make sure that the PS4 that you're going to be doing the work on is set to your home console before you do the swap. You're going to need that to be your primary PlayStation 4 so that when you hook up your online profile, your PS Plus profile, whatever it is, back to your PlayStation, you can re-download all the games, all the apps, everything like that, and be good to go. Now, first things first, we got to get the thumb drive set up. So plug it into your computer. You don't have to delete everything off of it, but I actually did just to be safe. When you get the thumb drive in your computer, you're going to need a 2-file deep system to put the network system update onto, so when you plug it into your PS4, it knows exactly where to go. The top tier folder is going to be titled PS4 in all caps, and then you're going to go into that folder and make a new folder called Update, also in all caps. Next, we need to download that system software update, and you can do that by going to PlayStation.com, hover on the Help button on the top of the screen, select System Updates, click on PS4 System Updates, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Now, at the bottom, you're going to find a section called New Installation of the System Software. That's the one you want to go with. Everything else is just a patch. You need the full system software up to date in order to make this process work. Go ahead and click on that, download the entire system file, and then put it in the update folder that you made earlier for that jump drive. Now we got to go to the PS4 and make sure that we saved anything that we want to retain to put onto the new hard drive. There's a couple different ways you can do this. Number one, you can actually plug a USB hard drive in and back up everything to it and then go ahead and restore it when everything's said and done. Or you can do what I did, which is kind of the bare minimum. Now, if you have PS Plus, you can make sure all your saved games are stored online. Head to Settings, Applications, Saved Data Management, Save Data, and System Storage. Now, you can either save each game file to online storage if you have PS Plus, but if you don't, then you can actually choose a USB drive if you want. It could be the same thing with your brand new network settings on it, and go ahead and save all those game save files to that USB drive, and then that way you can pull them off later and be good to go. All right, we'll get back to all that saved data stuff here in just a minute, but first we've actually got to put the new hard drive into the PS4. Now, before you do this, just a couple of things. Number one, you want to make sure that your PS4 is completely powered off. Don't put it in rest mode. And then number two, and this one kind of should be obvious, but please, for the love of God, make sure you've unplugged the PS4 from any power source just in case. So first, you're going to pull the top cover of the PS4 off just by pushing up and away from the console. Next, there's a PS4 screw that you need to take out. You'll know which one thanks to the PlayStation button icons etched into the head of the screw. Once that's out, then you can go ahead and pull the hard drive tray. After the tray is out, there's going to be 4 screws, 2 on either side, that need to come out of the tray. These are what hold the hard drive in there. Now, once all 4 of those are out, the hard drive will be accessible. Before removing it though, please take note of the direction and location of the plugs on it. Obviously, your new drive is going to need to line up the same exact way. Once that's out of there, then simply take your new hard drive, making sure not to touch the board, and to discharge any static electricity first by touching a piece of grounded metal, and then go ahead and put it into the tray the same direction as the old hard drive. Then you're going to go ahead and put the 4 screws back in, but do not over tighten them. There's actually going to be 4 rubber washers that are going to prevent you from getting it too tight, but just stay mindful of that. Then you can try and clean up any built up dust, put the tray back in, and the cover back on. The hard part is now done. Next, here comes the easy but time consuming part, okay? First off, we're going to take that USB drive that we had the new system software on and plug it into the PS4. Then you're going to take your controller, plug that into the PS4 via the USB cable that I told you to have earlier. Lastly, you're going to hold the power button for the PS4 for 7 seconds, and it's going to boot it into safe mode. Once that happens, you're going to be able to select the initialize new software option. And I would like to say that I apologize for the quality of the video for the next minute or so. The HDCP re-enables by default, which makes it impossible to capture anything from the console, and I didn't want to screw it up while I was doing this, so this is kind of all done with the GoPro. Sorry about that. So you're going to go through a bunch of install screens, and it took me about 10 minutes to get through these. But once you're through those, you're going to set up the console as if it was brand new, because technically it kind of is, right? It thinks that it's a new console because we got a new hard drive in place. Once you got your settings back where you wanted them, head into your settings and re-download your saved data or reinstall your USB backups. Keep in mind, any saved game file you're going to re-download from the PS Plus cloud is not going to install on your system unless the game it's tied to is also installed as well. So you will need to reinstall or re-download those games before you go and take that save file back down from the cloud. Now, if you've gone 100% digital at this point, it's going to take you a little bit of time. If you're kind of a mix like I was, it took me about 30 minutes to get all my disc-based games back onto my system, and then it took me overnight to get everything re-downloaded. Games and stuff like themes should automatically be in your library to re-download as well, so you won't have to search through the store to find them. And once you get that done and get everything re-downloaded, then you're completely done. Now, if you're wondering, because I see so many of these videos that are starting from scratch with the PS4, just putting the new hard drive in at first, which is what I suggest doing. But if you're like me and you've had it for a year or two, and it's kind of getting to the point where you need to get a new hard drive, it is going to take a little bit of time to get everything back. Now, all of the stuff that I had to download, I just initiated the download, threw it in rest mode, left it overnight, and when I came back the next day, everything was good to go. So it shouldn't take you too long. It took me about an hour from start to finish for the hardware and the software installation, and that does not count games, save files, themes, things like that. But it is a pretty quick process and a pretty good investment of your time in order to future-proof your console's library size. So, which hard drive did you guys use? If you didn't use that Seagate one, did you use anything else? Or do you even plan on doing this? We've heard news that the PS 4.5 4K is going to be coming out. Are you going to upgrade to that? Or are you just going to keep going with what you have now? Either way, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys liked the video, then you know what to do. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Brian with BLC Video. Peace out. You want to be in the video?